All right, folks, what is good? What is going on? This is episode 441 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. Going to jump on some Atlanta Falcons football probably throughout the weekend if you're on the YouTube side of things. Going to talk about them and their game against the Seattle Seahawks. But today, I'm going to talk Georgia Southern because we're playing Ball State tomorrow, and it's going to be pretty exciting because we're going to see what Georgia Southern can do once we bounce back from a loss against UAB. And I'm just going to be here to tell you, I think that even though we looked at what Georgia Southern, have to face, we gave a look into Ball State in an earlier episode. I think that we're going to be able to do some great things in the passing game. So I'm going to talk about that and give you my thoughts and opinions. So hopefully you guys will hang out and give me your feedback as well. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So if you want to listen to the podcast at your leisure, that'd be fantastic. Just the fact that you're supporting, that's great. And if you want to go further to support, all the links are down in the description. You can find a way to support there. Now, let's get into this. The Georgia Southern passing game should overwhelm Ball State. We should get back to our ways of throwing the ball and distributing the ball to a lot of receivers. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to get away from the run game, because I think the run game is going to be, just as potent. But our main thing is we need to find a way to get, I think his name is Carson Steele, the running back from Ball State. I don't think I got his first name right, but I know his last name is Steele. If we can get him contained, we should have a really good day. And the way that we'll be able to do it, we don't have to go pound for pound with them as far as running the ball. I really believe that we'll be able to pass the ball. I'm going to talk about Ball State last 3 games, well, the only 3 games that they've played so far, and tell you how I feel like their secondary is not going to be as successful or as stout as UAB was. UAB played a very good style of defense that we couldn't do nothing with. I think with Ball State and the numbers that I see, I think we're going to be able to get the ball and distribute the ball a little bit better. And like I said, we're going to look at the 3 games that they played. The first game they played against Tennessee. Tennessee was able to distribute the ball to 10 different receivers. It's almost very similar to what Georgia Southern has been doing so far this year. And if we can get some separation, which I think we will be able to, we can get some separation against Ball State, we should be fine. The quarterbacks for Tennessee, because they played more than one, they combined 27 to 35 for 351 and 3 touchdowns. And one of their quarterbacks only made 1 incompletion. And it's really telling, because I know Tennessee, their talent is slightly, I ain't gonna say slightly, is above Ball State, obviously. But when you looking at this, their secondary just had no answer for what they was able to do. I'm looking at the stats here. I don't see any passes defended or anything like that. I could be wrong. They did not have any interceptions. So that game was pretty much what it was. 351 through the air. Kyle Vantrease can do that in his sleep. I know I'm being kind of funny with that, but Kyle Vantrease has been throwing the ball very well for the Georgia Southern Eagles with the receivers that he have. The next game they played against Western Michigan. They lost that game 37-30. In that game, the quarterback for Western Michigan was 25 of 43, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So with that being said, they had 1 receiver over 100 yards, and that was Crooms. Crooms had 10 catches for 102, and he distributed the ball. Salopek, I think that's how to spell his name, the quarterback for Western Michigan, he distributed the ball to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers, and all of them, I ain't gonna say all of them had more than 2. Well, all of them but 1 had 2 or more catches. So you can see where I'm going at. Now, the 1 interception that they did throw, that was King. No, I'm sorry. I'll take that back. Was I want to say his name correctly, because it's Amici Uzadamina. And he seems like he's one of the top cornerbacks for their team. So he had the interception, and but that's pretty much it. Everything else was a wash, and I didn't see anything else that stood out. Amos did had a couple tackles for loss. They didn't get any sacks in this game, but tackles for loss is something that we may want to look into because we do have a situation where we do have we do have an issue with the running backs not getting in a rhythm. We usually find a way to get big gains in the running game, but I think our offensive line will be pretty fine with that. But that is something you may want to look into. Overall, what these guys were able to do was pretty good. Another 100-yard another 100-yard receiver with 10 receptions. Also, they gave up over 200 yards rushing. So Ball State defensively is not necessarily where we may think it is. And I know we don't want to downplay any team because any team can get beat at any time. But outside of their running back, still was able to do some things against Western Michigan. Also, Paddock did throw for over 300 yards, so I don't know what to say about that. It was on 41. It was 24-41, 2 touchdowns. QBR was 49. I don't know what you take out of that. I just don't know because it's slightly over. Slightly over 50% of his passes. Not necessarily sure what to take from that. Now, also, when you want to look at the Murray State game, when they played against Murray State, this is where Ball State pretty much shined for the most part. They were able to blank the Murray State Racers 31-0. And in this game, Paddock looked pretty good. But what I'm really want to look at is defensively, what they were able to do. And now in this game, they were able to get some interceptions. I think Nick Jones had 2. And I think that one of the other guys, no, it was just 2. So Nick Jones had 2 interceptions. But Murray State is an inferior football team. Their quarterback was 7 of 22 for only 57 yards. I don't even know what type of offense they run, but it looked like they did absolutely nothing. And I said, with all due respect, Murray State just was no match for them. Now, I don't know what to take from this game because it was Murray State. Paddock was 27-44, so they were able to move the ball. But when it looks at the way that they did the way that they were able to distribute the ball, Murray State was able to distribute the ball. You don't have much of anything here. That's just straight bad quarterback play in my opinion. You only completed 7 passes, and you had 2 interceptions as well. I don't know what to take from this game, but for the most part, Ball State did their job against Murray State. So the only thing I can really fall back on is the Western Michigan game and the Tennessee game. Once again, the Tennessee game was just a shellacking, 59-10. They weren't able to do anything as far as defensively. They gave up over 350 yards passing, and I just don't know what to take from that. It's just the defense themselves is just not that good. At the end of the day, the Ball State defense isn't as good. They're going to be leaning on their running back, if anything. They're going to be trying to lean on him, and we have a problem tackling. So that is something we may want to try to tighten up. But as far as the passing game goes, we should be able to do pretty fine. I'm looking at a situation where somewhere around what Tennessee has done, Kyle Vantrease should be able to do this because we do have, I believe we have better talent than the Western Michigans and the Murray State of the world. But we also have we also have talent that's slightly, and I'm being biased, probably slightly lower than Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee does look good, but we have like a plethora of receivers that can make some moves and do some things. So I kind of expect Vantrease to do some things, and actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws over 350 yards. With maybe 3, maybe 4 touchdowns. Because Kyle Vantrease, for what it's worth, Kyle Vantrease has been shown that he can play ball at this level. He's a 6-year man. And he has been doing great things for Georgia Southern in 3 games that he's played. So knowing what we know when he played against Nebraska and what he did against Morgan State, I'm almost looking at this is what it's going to be when it comes to the game. When we look at the Tennessee game, you complete that high percentage of passes, almost 2/3 of your passes. it's just not going to bode well for Ball State. Same thing with the Western Michigan game. Salopek was 25 of 43 for 230, but he would distribute the ball out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players. The other team, Tennessee distributed the ball to 10 people. So it's looking pretty good that with that. Georgia Southern should be able to move the ball against Ball State. And I think they'll probably do it more in the passing game. It should be successful against Ball State. I just don't know whatever else to say around that. It's just a good thing where you got a quarterback like Vantrease coming in to lead a team in this way. And I think he's done a very good job so far. The UAB game was a little stumble. I expected us to lose that game, so it's not the end of the world. I still got this team going 8-4, and I hope that'll be the case, because that'll be a big boost, not only to the program, or other players want to come in. It's not just a big boost for them. It's a big boost for the team and the coach. Showing that we can go into conference play at 3-1 and actually, play against a Coastal Carolina who's, they've just been beating up on Georgia State, So the thing is you want to have this type of confidence going into the regular, going into conference play. You would want that type of, production. So, it should work out pretty well. I can't wait to see what these guys do on Saturday. I'm going to be watching, definitely going to be watching. So when we go up against Coastal Carolina, the following game, we should be more prepared, because that's a much more talented team. So this is almost like another, I don't want to, talk down to Ball State, but based on what they've been able to do versus other teams, and you have a team like this that has, with Georgia Southern, that actually have more talent in the wide receiver position, probably better than any other last two games that they had when they played Western Michigan, when they played Murray State. I think we should have better athletes, and we should be able to feast. We should be able to move the ball down the field, and Vantrease should probably get 320, 350, 410, a game. So it looks like it's going to be one of those. So I may do a complete pregame show of this on Saturday, because I know I do a lot of content on Saturday when it talks about Atlanta Falcons and Georgia Southern football. We'll get to that bridge. I may do one, especially with the pregame, because we'll get more tendencies and get more information for what Ball State is going to be bringing out on Paulson on Stadium. Because once we know the type of personnel is going to be out there, then we'll know how to react. So my thing is, once we figure out who's going to be where, may do a pregame show, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What do you think, guys? Georgia Southern on Ball State. I've seen a couple of picks out there saying Ball State will beat us, and they will if we can't stop the run. I don't want to talk too much into that right now, because the running game, I talked about it in a few other episodes. The running game is a problem for us. I mean, we can, the main thing is we got to be able to stop this team. If we do that, it's going to be an easy look for Georgia Southern. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. All right, y'all. I am on Anchor, Stitch, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Rumble if you want to watch the visuals. I'm going to get up out of here. You guys enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Watch some football. Cook some food. Get your guys together and just relax and enjoy the content, because not only what I'm doing over here and what's actually on the field is an amazing thing. I love football. I love it. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.